Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out Philomena Cunk on America.
Ask a medieval peasant where America was and you'd get a blank look. Or worse still, the plague. Columbo thought that if he sailed off the edge...
7 seconds in, and I'm laughing.
Ask a medieval peasant where America was and you'd get a blank look. Or worse still, the plague. Columbo thought that if he sailed off the edge of the map, he'd reappear on the other side like Pac-Man. At first, the European colony...
Did she call him Columbo?
Columbo thought that if he sailed off the edge of the map, he'd reappear on the other side like Pac-Man. At first, the European colonists found life in the New World hard. Luckily, some Native Americans taught them how to grow corn and where to fish.
I can't understand a lot of what she's... Oh, there's no closed captions. Did she say wet a fish? How to grow corn and wet a fish?
Luckily, some Native Americans taught them how to grow corn and where to fish. In exchange, the colonists introduced the Native Americans...
I got it. I'm sorry, I'm slow, y'all. Thanks for hanging in there with me.
In exchange, the colonists introduced the Native Americans to smallpox. After arriving in America to forge a...
Yes, they did. She is dark. I love how dry she is, and if I wasn't really paying much attention, I probably would not catch the jokes, because it sounds very much like a regular documentary.
After arriving in America to forge a life of honest hard work and toil, many of these colonists quickly discovered they couldn't be arsed. So they stole people from Africa and made them do it instead. What started the tension?
Ooh. Yes, they did.
So they stole people from Africa and made them do it instead. What started the tension between the British and the Americans? Was it because you say cookies and we say biscuits, and you say sidewalk and we say pavement? Because I find in a relationship it's those little things that start to grate after a while. So when the people in Boston got angry with the British, why did they just hold a prissy tea party instead of having a proper fight like British men would?
Would you voluntarily, when you didn't have to, go to jail?
It depends what facilities they had, I think. 76. The leaders of the 13 colonies decided that they didn't want to be called British anymore, but Americans. This straight white supergroup known as the Founding Fathers drafted the most famous breakup text in history, the Declaration of Independence, and had invented camouflage yet.
Wait, the
British
most what? Is she saying the most famous break of text?
Drafted the most famous breakup text in history.
The most famous break-off text? I can't understand what she's saying.
Drafted the most famous breakup text in history.
Oh, breakup text. God. How did I not hear that? I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, the most famous breakup text in history. That's funny. The
Declaration of Independence. And had invented camouflage yet. The British troops of the time wore bright red coats and were consequently shot in their thousands while looking amazing. George Washington crossing the Delaware River. As you can see, he had to stand up for the whole journey because he hadn't reserved a seat. He didn't fall in, but he also didn't help with the rowing.
Okay. He didn't help with the rowing. Wow. There's a part 2. Okay.
Actually, Washington won, becoming America's first president, the single most revered role in the world, until 2016. I read somewhere that America isn't just a country, but an idea.
Cheers to that. Yes. Well done. Ah. For those of you that don't keep track of American politics, 2016 is the year that we had a new president. He was orange.
The single most revered role in the world, until 2016. I read somewhere that America isn't just a country, but an idea. But it is just a country, isn't it? Having a sandwich, that's an idea. Painting your bicycle blue, that's an idea. Going, that's an idea. America is just a place. They believed in something called manifest destiny, the belief that all the land belonged to them, and that God wanted them to go west and claim it back from the Native Americans he put there first by mistake. Manifesting your destiny was...
They were put there first by mistake. Wow. Wow. I mean, it's true. The sarcasm.
Go west and claim it back from the Native Americans he put there first by mistake. Manifesting your destiny was dangerous. You had to trundle across a perilous landscape in a rickety wagon on the brink of starvation or shitting yourself to death with dysentery, getting bitten by snakes or butchered by Apaches, almost as if God didn't want them to do this after all. But Americans back then weren't the humble.
She's hitting the nail on the head, y'all, with such searing sarcasm. This is brilliant. Philomena Cunk, you're a genius.
But Americans back then weren't the humble, unassuming people they still aren't today. It's hard to imagine a world where Edison didn't invent the light. They still aren't do this after all. But Americans back then weren't the humble, unassuming people they still aren't today.
Good. That's really good. Dang. I would love to see her do a roast.
It's hard to imagine a world where Edison didn't invent the light bulb. And even if you did imagine it, it would be too dark to see what was in it. So we had daylight during the day and we had candles at night.
Yes.
So we didn't need light bulbs. His life's work was meaningless.
Yes.
So we didn't
So earnest and serious.
daylight during the day and we had candles at night.
Yes.
So we didn't need light bulbs. His life's work was meaningless. That must have been a real moment the first time someone realised a plane needed a toilet. That's more impressive than the Wright brothers. Use of firearms is an
The first time a
integral.
what needed a
Must have
toilet?
been a real moment the first time someone realised a plane needed a toilet.
A plane.
That's more impressive than the Wright brothers. Use of firearms is an integral part of their national identity. How come Americans have the right to kill anyone they want with a gun?
Well, they don't. Murder is illegal in the United States, but they do have the right to own weapons.
They have the right to bear arms.
Correct.
But bears don't have arms.
They do, actually.
Oh, do they? I thought they were legs.
Well, I'm not a biologist, but I suppose that when they stand up, they're probably arms.
He must be in on the joke, right? He must be.
With its cowboys and guns and steam train rides, America became known as the land of the free, which must have come as a surprise to all the slaves. But by finally thinking hard about the subject,
Dang. That was good, though. That was really good.
and guns and steam train rides, America became known as the land of the free, which must have come as a surprise to all the slaves. But by finally thinking hard about the subject, the people of the northern states made a horrifying discovery, that inside each slave was an actual human person. Abraham Lincoln was shot in the theatre box, wasn't he? Where is that on the body?
Oh, I think
And why was he shot? Was it because he wouldn't take his hat off? Because that's quite annoying in the theatre, isn't it, when someone's in front of you with a hat on?
well, he was in the press.
How did being shot in the head affect Lincoln's ability to lead?
Well, it ended it because he died about 12 hours after he was shot.
So he couldn't carry on.
He couldn't. No, not as a corpse, unfortunately.
Lincoln's light may
This guy's in on the joke. He must be. That guy, he knows what she's doing.
carry on.
He couldn't. No, not as a corpse, unfortunately.
Why don't bicycles have toilets? You know, it would save you having to get off. I might write that down and copyright it. Even without a toilet, the Wright brothers' historic flight changed transportation forever in ways that still aren't fully understood. The Wright brothers did the first proper flight over 100 years ago. How come we're still not any closer to working out how aeroplanes actually work? That's your theory. Do you want to hear my theory?
Okay.
That's a no.
Okay.
I think they run on belief. It's just because we believe planes can fly that they do. So the media has to keep up the pretense, or they're just going to start dropping out of the sky. Same with Wi-Fi. There's no way that's real. We just have to go along with this pantomime. The Civil War tore America apart, didn't it? Brother turned on brother. Did anyone get so conflicted they turned on them? But Abraham Lincoln's story
What?
didn't have the Civil War tore America apart, didn't it? Brother turned on brother. Did anyone get so conflicted they turned on them? But Abraham Lincoln's story
I think there's something I'm not catching in this one.
did anyone get so conflicted they turned on them?
I Yeah, that was the whole reason, right? Okay, I get the joke now. Okay, yeah.
But Abraham Lincoln's story didn't have a happy ending. 5 days after the North won, a terrible fate befell him. He was forced to go to the theatre to watch a play. He was put out of his misery by a kindly gunman, but cruelly, not until the third act.
Wow. So dry, so brilliant, so brutal, so sarcastic. Sometimes sarcasm is the most effective way to speak the truth to something. It points out the ridiculousness of a truth. She's brilliant. Thank y'all for recommending. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.